This one has to do with BRICS and Indonesia and Thailand. Let's tackle the Indonesia one, because especially when it comes down to the Malacca Strait. So I just wanted to get your feedback regarding Indonesia and BRICS. How is that going to transform BRICS vis-a-vis ASEAN, in your opinion?
Okay, this is big news because Indonesia is huge. People don't realize how big Indonesia is because we usually use a map with a Mercator projection, which makes the northern countries really big. Like Greenland is huge, and whereas countries like in the south, like on the equator, Indonesia don't appear as big. But if you superimpose a map of Indonesia to Europe, Indonesia will run from city of London all the way to the border of Afghanistan. That's how big Indonesia is. It's pretty much a mini continent by itself, and it's also one of the most populous country. You know, Indonesia is the world's fourth most populous country after India, China, and United States. It's also the world's most. It has the country with the most Muslim in the world. It's you know, because it's a Muslim majority country. So by any matrix, Indonesia is very important, and it's the largest country in ASEAN. For many years, Indonesia was sitting on the fence on the BRICS, on joining the BRICS, because it did not want to offend United States. It knows United States very sensitive about BRICS and nations joining the BRICS grouping, because US sees BRICS as the anti-West, anti-US alliance. But whereas Indonesia wished to keep its options open, Indonesia wants to be friends with everybody. He wants to keep its ties with United States, and he also continue to welcome Chinese investment, because that's very important for development of Indonesian economy. So now it looks like Indonesia decided, you know what, we don't need to pretend anymore. We don't need to pretend we're sitting on the fence anymore. We're just going to join the BRICS.
Go for it.
Because this is a major development. And it shows that the kind of the movement toward BRICS is inevitable. It's kind of almost unstoppable particularly in the global South countries. It makes sense because the Indonesian economy is increasingly tied with the BRICS country, with China, but with other members of the BRICS country as well. You know, especially with the just recent complete construction of Chancay Port in Peru by China. That's going to link all of South America to Indonesia as well, because Indonesia is going to set on this transit route. You show the map of Malacca Strait. That's what most of the Chinese trade with China will go through the Malacca Strait into South China Sea. All the Chinese exports and Chinese import will go through Strait of Malacca to Middle East, Africa, and so this is also, you know, U.S. Navy has always talked about, we're going to choke up Strait of Malacca in case of war, but it's unrealistic. First of all, they never practiced it. You know, they're not serious about it, because for something, if they're going to stop the traffic in Strait of Malacca, they're not just stopping the traffic to China. They're stopping the world trade. Because China is the center of the world trade. When they stop the Strait of Malacca, they're essentially blockading the world. They're blockading the entire East Asia. So that there's no way that's gonna fly. But Indonesia is important because it sits on the other side of the Straits of Malacca. And Indonesia right now, China is the largest direct foreign investment in Indonesia, and China is helping the Indonesia climbing the ladder in the in terms of manufacturing. You know, China, because Indonesia has an ambition to be a major suppliers of nickel and cobalt, two essential ingredients for making batteries for EV. And traditionally, Indonesia export these raw materials to be refined elsewhere. But Indonesia has banned export of nickel, because so they can be processed inside Indonesia. That attracted a lot of Chinese capital. Now it's mostly Chinese capital that's coming into Indonesia to set up factories to refine nickel and cobalt. And so that will help. And China also has the most expertise in making batteries. Chinese battery makers dominate the battery market. So they will have a lot of expertise to share with Indonesia to set up factories over here as well. I mean, as I mentioned before, I'm waiting for the BYD factory to be up and running. Their plan is to have the first BYD factory in Indonesia to be pumping out EVs by January 2026. So that's what I'm waiting for. So for the price of Chinese EV in Indonesia even to come down even further, because by producing domestically in Indonesia, that will allow a lot of the you will avoid the tariff, because Indonesia also have a high tariff on foreign auto imports, to encourage foreign automakers to manufacturing car domestically. So that's what BYD is doing. And a lot of other Chinese companies are doing. They're coming to Indonesia to open up factories, and this is going to be great for Indonesia, because Indonesia is still very a youthful country. A lot of people needs employment. So things are looking up. Things are looking up where I am right now. A lot of people are very optimistic about their future in Indonesia.
Well, especially after the visit of Prabowo to China, which he had a great welcome there and red carpet treatment, and the agreements that Indonesia and China signed sort of suggest what lies ahead as far as the Chinese money into the Indonesian market. So I'm very optimistic about it, because I am thinking about visiting Indonesia on one of my trips to Asia, because I'm going to come back to Asia next year. So I am thinking about, because I'd like to see the developments of countries like that, even Thailand and Philippines and so forth. If I get a chance, I might visit.